Hello, I'm the evil, miscellaneous Spoopy.
Sorry about that intro. It's me. I know you were so fooled you thought I got a European lookalike up in here. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. Today I'm filming a video that I've been putting off because, oh my god. So, the Princess switched again. Before I start tearing into this movie, I enjoyed the title. I love sequel titles that just like have a little subtitle that is just crazy. The Princess Switched Again is a great name. It definitely got my attention because I was like, they're switching again? Yes, apparently they are. But I think I had naively forgotten the first movie and how terrible these movies are. I don't even know how to begin or where to begin criticizing it just because it is that bad. It goes into fantasy land, and a lot of these times, these rom-coms, the way I approach criticizing is by critiquing how unrealistic situations are. There's plot holes that it's like, that would never happen in real life, or you know, whatever. But this movie is straight up fantasy. It is not something that would happen in real life at all in any way. And that can work, and this setup has worked for other movies. The only movies I can think of that pull this off successfully are teen movies. Teen movies and children's movies are more friendly towards the fantastical elements. And it's weird when it's like a movie for adults. It's for adults that want a fantasy. They want the romance fantasy. So this is a TV movie. So it knows it's bad. It's not trying to pass off as this big theatrical release type movie that has like A-list actors in it. No offense to Vanessa Hudgens, pretty much the only actor in this movie. It's not trying to be this like realistic and relatable sort of movie. And a lot of rom-coms I think end up being this kind of romance fantasy, but this one, those other ones are trying to be relatable. Like Holiday, Happiest Seasons, they're trying to have elements that are relatable to regular people, despite like having moments that don't make sense. I think they want people to see themselves a little bit in the situation, relate, find it funny. But this is pure romance and pure fantasy, and not in like the Lord of the Rings sense, but like it's a fairy tale. That's the word that's been eluding me. Okay, so I rewatched The Princess Switch 1, which, to recap, is basically, the locals will say it's like the Lizzie McGuire movie, but the deep cut it's more like is the movie Monte Carlo. That one is kind of a knockoff of the Lizzie McGuire movie, I will give it that in some ways, but it is Selena Gomez finding a look-alike that is, I think, a royal person, a royal in Europe, and switching places with them. So this Princess Switch movie is basically, I think it's Monte Carlo meets A Christmas Prince is the best way to describe it, meets Great British Bake Off, I guess. The gist of the first movie is that Vanessa Hudgens, American, is a baker in Chicago, and she goes to a baking competition in Belgravia. There's all these made-up countries that love Christmas in these movies, these Netflix movies. She goes to Belgravia and runs into a look-alike of her who is like a princess of Montenegro, and she's engaged to the prince of Belgravia, the country that has the competition. And this princess is very like spontaneous and loves to pull pranks or something, and they switch places. She convinces the baker, Vanessa Hudgens, to switch places with her because she wants to feel like what it's like to be a normal person. And then they end up falling in love with each other's guys. They weren't breaking up each other's relationship. Well, I guess American one. Well, whatever. British Vanessa Hudgens didn't like her fiance, and American Vanessa Hudgens liked him, fell in love with him. British Vanessa Hudgens fell in love with American Vanessa Hudgens' best friend. They coupled up at the end, changed places for good, kind of, and ended up with their respective guys. In the second one, we open with American Vanessa Hudgens. Now she's like a princess and has all these princess duties. She is not having sex with the prince anymore. That is her main, I think, issue. But they're married. Yeah, they're married. We learn quickly that British Vanessa Hudgens, she's broken up with the baker guy. She's broken up with him because she is in line for the throne in Montenegro now, and the king died, so she has to take on royal duties now all of a sudden. And we knew in the first movie, we saw that she's not into the royal stuff. She wants to just be normal. So American Vanessa Hudgens is concerned for her having to be queen soon. So the main conflict of the sequel here is that British Vanessa Hudgens is becoming queen soon, and she doesn't really want to necessarily or something. Oh my god. So this movie had me all kinds of confused. I was like so confused at certain times, because even the first one is confusing because they switch places and there's certain times where they have to pretend it's like Vanessa Hudgens acting British, acting American. And it's just like, what? Like, it becomes all these layers of like Vanessa Hudgens playing herself. So the main conflict is that she's becoming queen, and obviously when someone's becoming queen in a movie, there's always people that are certainly interested in stealing the throne from her. And that's like the main villains of this one. So just when we thought we could not get enough Vanessa Hudgens in the first movie, two of them, we get a third that is blonde. It felt like this character was Sharpay, British Sharpay. Like, I hope Vanessa Hudgens sent Ashley Tisdale a check for inspiration and showing her firsthand how to do this, because this is basically Sharpay, just with a horrible accent. Oh my god, the accent. So the thing about these movies that like really gets me is Vanessa Hudgens' like little accent. It sounds like an attempt at British, but I think they can get away with like saying, oh, this is the Montenegro accent. This isn't, she's not trying to be British, she's trying to be Montenegrin, you know what I mean? They get away with like the shittiest British accent ever. It literally sounds like they taught her 5 words and she just repeats them over and over again. The amount of times in the movie Vanessa Hudgens says, all right, infinite.
All right. Well, all right. All right. All right. All right.
Every other word, she's like, all right, all right. The accent gets me. So now there's two Vanessa Hudgens with accents. There's a blonde one and the brown-haired one. And the blonde one basically acts like Sharpay. She says the word spoopy for some reason.
You two seriously look like twins. Spoopy.
I mean spooky.
I associate that with like Tumblr people. I don't know. This blonde Vanessa Hudgens is like the cousin of Margaret, the British Vanessa Hudgens, and she is trying to get the throne because she's broke because she partied all her money away, I think. She has 2 little hyena sidekicks that help her out throughout the movie be villainous. Her plan the whole time is to figure out how to get the throne. She figures out at some point that she looks just like both Vanessa Hudgens because she's still Vanessa Hudgens. Like, this universe, just like every girl is Vanessa Hudgens for some reason. Oh god. I'm so sorry for this review, y'all. Like, this movie, it's hard to criticize because it's so bad that it's like, where do you even, like, there's no base level for realism. But this is a great exercise for me, right? So the name of the Sharpay Vanessa Hudgens is Fiona. She has her plot to kidnap queen-to-be Vanessa Hudgens and take her place. But before she gets to execute this switcheroo here, the first 2 Vanessa Hudgens make a plan to switch places because basically, why do they switch places? The British Vanessa Hudgens, Margaret, wants to spend time again, rekindle her relationship with Kevin, who was the baker guy that she had broken up with, or that they had broken up, whatever. The one with the daughter, which, did they switch the actress of the daughter? She looked really different. Maybe she just got older. So Margaret switches place with Stacy, the American one, to have a date with Kevin, the baker guy. So Margaret has to go to all these like queen-to-be functions, and she's just too busy to like spend time and rekindle her relationship with Kevin. So she asks Stacy basically just fill in for her and her royal duties. I mean, they say Ivanka has some sort of doppelganger she sends to functions, so maybe it's more of a thing than we think. American Vanessa Hudgens is going to the Queen stuff as Margaret, doing, again, the layered acting. She's American, but she's pretending to be British, but she's Vanessa Hudgens. I'm sorry. There is one scene that's like cute between Kevin and Margaret where they have like a fight with flour, like they're baking something, and it's just so funny because by the end, Vanessa Hudgens' face is literally pristine, no flour on it. My conspiracy theory is that she had it written in her contract, no flour on the face. Because this is just odd that in this scene, like this guy is covered head to toe in flour, and Vanessa Hudgens is just like neck down. There's also like an obligatory like big Christmas decorating montage where it is excessive, but we gotta present the mood. Really, that's the only thing that says Christmas about this movie. This movie isn't inherently Christmassy. It's just like they just set it around Christmas where all the conflict's happening and call it a holiday movie. But really, the only thing we get about Christmas is this like excessively decorated castle where there's a montage where they put up the decorations, which like that takes, in real life, that kind of thing takes like crews of people to do, and like scaffolding and shit. But okay, I'll buy it that it was a little girl and two Vanessa Hudgens. While the American Vanessa Hudgens is going to the Queen function, letting Margaret have her time, her date with Kevin, that's when the blonde Vanessa Hudgens comes in to switch places, and she kidnaps the American one thinking it's the Queen, the actual one. Honestly, this chloroforming looked like Rosa de Guadalupe levels of bad drug moments.
I haven't seen Fiona. Is she here?
Like after school special type of like chloroforming what it looks like. So she kidnaps the Stacy one, thinking it's Margaret. Then she takes her place, so now blonde Vanessa Hudgens is pretending to be Margaret now. She starts like trying to take charge of her life, basically steal her identity. At some point, the blonde one, as Margaret, like breaks up again with Kevin and is like, go home. Go home. She is really rude to him, so Kevin, after having this nice date with her, now he's confused and leaves. Basically, she's running her life. She stole her identity. Vanessa Hudgens, which one? Now we have like triangles of like who's pretending to be who. Stacy, the American one, keeps telling like the little hyena people, you got the wrong person actually, like it's me, but they don't believe her. No one believes her that she's not Margaret until Margaret shows up and confronts everything, and it's like, oh shit, she's here. And finally, it's all a big mess. They include some like action sequences of like Stacy trying to escape the dungeon she's being kept in. All very fantastical. Margaret had a creepy butler that like was saying he was in love with her or something and almost seducing her, but he actually wanted the throne or something. He was creepy the whole time. Like, I could tell from a mile away he was like a bad guy. He was in cahoots with the blonde one at some point because they both wanted the throne. At the end, the two original Vanessa Hudgens come in to the church where she's about to get coronated and stop her. When Margaret comes to confront, she's dressed like Stacy and Stacy's dressed like Margaret, and it's just very confusing. It's like Vanessa Hudgens, just so many layers, and I was so confused. It literally took me a week to watch this movie. Like a whole friggin' week. A week. I had to watch it in like 10-minute increments, and I could not believe every time how little time had passed. It was so bad. And then the best part, worst part of the movie was the end. The end took romance movies to the next level because we had the classic romantic comedy airport scene. It's OG. It is the trope. One of the couple runs at the airport to catch the other, and they reconcile and kiss and make up and ride off into the sunset. In this one, we had that moment. Margaret realizes that the blonde one had been shitty, rude to Kevin. This whole squad runs up to the airport, and they catch him there, and then... So they have the moment we expect. The moment we expect, they catch each other. It was all a misunderstanding. We have the moment, we think it's over. We think it's finally over. And then Vanessa Hudgens sees a priest at the airport, just chilling, getting his coffee, trying to wait for his flight, and says, why don't we just get married now? And they have a fucking wedding at the airport. They get married. Like, this is not even a regular rom-com couple. This is a royal wedding happening at an airport in literally 2 seconds. It lasts no time. They find an arch, I think, to wed under. They get married at the airport. That was so bad. They could have had this cute wedding scene, finished out the fantasy strong, made it Christmassy, done all of that. But no, they had to lower the bar for us all again and get married at the airport. So that was kind of, the cherry on top of a piece of crap. No, I mean... all in all, I think it's quite clear. This movie is an F on my teen movie scale. And I know it's a TV movie. I try to keep that in mind. There are TV movies that I enjoy that are shitty, but they're just like, they're like eating Cheetos, You know they're bad and chemically, but like, you still want to eat the whole bag. That's usually the case for the TV movies that I enjoy. I'll rewatch them like when I'm doing crafts or drawing or painting. But this one was just boring. Maybe it's a holiday movie thing. Those movies have like a particular taste that is, I don't know if it's fully my own. I definitely think it's an F. It felt slow. It felt like predictable, except for the wedding at the airport, I guess. So that's that. It's so fantastical. So if you enjoy the fairy tale, the fantasy, a poorly made fantasy, then you'll probably enjoy it. I think the first one was stronger. That one was a little more fun. Yeah, I mean, sequels for good movies aren't even good. A sequel to a bad movie was just too bad for me. And it took a lot of perseverance to power through it. I saw this on the Trixie and Katya react video of this movie, which several people sent to me because I was so excited to watch this movie. It was cool. They had like a gay couple in the dance floor scene for like a split second. It's interesting because it's like these Hallmarky TV movies often, only now they're showing representation. But I also thought this could be a meme of like when Hollywood or like Disney says, we're including a gay character in our movie. Like, we are moving forward on this. And then it's something like this, like a split second. That's what I picture when I see Disney say, oh, we have a gay character. It's like, do you really? I'll believe it when I see it. Because a lot of times it'll be something like this scene. It famously happened with, I think, the Beauty and the Beast remake. I'm shocked this movie has a 65% on Rotten Tomatoes. Based on 20 reviews, though. These 20 people are questionable. So, Vanessa Hudgens, she's not only in this series, she's in The Night Before Christmas, which is like night as in night. Night. All in all, I do not recommend watching this movie. I recommend watching it, I guess, as ambient TV in the background, maybe, if you like that. It's not worth the time. This review, I know, was all over the place. I apologize. I hope you enjoyed regardless. Please let me know if there's any other holiday rom-coms I should cover, any holiday movies, any regular rom-coms. I'm happy to do so. You can follow me at Miscellaneous on Instagram and Twitter to find updates about when I post new videos. And you can also like and subscribe to help me out on this channel. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye!